Hello, I am Eva Wayman. We get to talk about learning disabilities today, specific learning disabilities, we call them in the field of special education. I am the special education director at Excelsior Academy, so this is one of my areas of passion. We will talk about the various types of learning disabilities, the most common ones. Then we'll talk about ways that we help all students at Excelsior and how those areas accommodate our students with learning disabilities. And then last, we'll talk about techniques you can use as a parent at home to support your child in their learning. Before we dive into this, I just want to talk about first what a learning disability is. It's important to clarify that learning disability is identified when a student has an average or above average IQ score, but they struggle academically in ways that don't align with their cognitive abilities. In other words, these students may have typical brain function, but they encounter learning challenges that make it difficult to succeed at the same pace or in the same way as their peers. Each learning disability has unique characteristics, requires different approaches to support the child in their learning journey. So we're going to discuss the different types of learning disabilities. The most common one, the one that everyone is familiar with, is dyslexia. It does primarily impact a student's reading skills. This includes decoding words, which means sounding out words, their reading fluency, how quickly they can read, and their comprehension, are they understanding what they read. Students with dyslexia may struggle with spelling and writing, and they can find it challenging to keep up with reading assignments. Next one we want to discuss is dysgraphia. This does affect the writing skills, those handwriting skills. Children with dysgraphia may struggle with handwriting, spelling, and it also affects in the realm of typing. It does create challenges for the students to get their thoughts onto paper for them. And the last one in this little field here is dyscalculia, which involves math-related skills. Students with dyscalculia may have trouble grasping basic number concepts, memorizing math facts, or solving math problems. This challenge increases as the student moves into algebra, which requires more writing and increased abstract thinking. Another common one, although the verbiage isn't as well known, is nonverbal learning disabilities. And this affects the ability of a student to understand social cues and spatial relationships. This impacts both the academic and social interactions, as children with nonverbal learning disabilities may struggle to interpret body language, facial expressions, or spatial concepts. They can also struggle to recall visual elements or manage objects in their environments. Auditory processing disorder is a common one that we see. Students with auditory processing disorders have difficulty processing sounds and spoken language. This does impact their ability to follow verbal instructions and to distinguish similar sounds and process auditory information quickly, especially in noisy environments. The last one we're going to talk about is the slow processing disorder. In this case, students may understand information well, but just require more time to process it. It affects their ability to keep up with reading, with problem solving, or with classroom discussions. These students do find it challenging to absorb information quickly as a foundation for understanding new or additional information. So sometimes they just benefit from having an extra day or extra reps on information. So each of these are a learning disability that affects how students approach and complete their schoolwork. Understanding which type of learning disability a student has is the first step in providing effective support. And when both parents and educators understand the unique characteristics of each type, they can create a more supportive and effective learning environment. So we're next going to go into ways we help students, all students, even in the general education environment with learning disabilities. And that very first one is routine. Creating those clear schedules help create an organized and predictable day The learning plans in the elementary and the planners in the middle school give students the ability to see the structure of their day and to anticipate upcoming activities. And this does reduce anxiety and help keep them focused. Another thing we do here at Excelsior is we write out the day's assignments and tasks on the board in all the classrooms. Teachers give this clear reference for the students, and it's often read aloud at the beginning of each class, giving the students both a visual and auditory cue about what to expect. It's especially helpful for those students with dyslexia, auditory processing disorders, or slow processing issues. Here at Excelsior, we do direct instruction, where teachers provide the clear, structured guidance in core subjects like English language arts, reading, math. We do use it in other areas as well, other subjects. This direct instruction is delivered in a focused setting with minimal distractions, which allows the students to focus on retaining information and pull out those key concepts and gives them that foundation for practicing and remembering information that they're given. A last common area that we use is choral response, which ties into that auditory area for students who have stronger auditory skills. It allows the students to repeat information both as a group or independently, which reinforces the learning. It helps those students with dyslexia, auditory or processing challenges. They get to see the information, hear the information, say the material, and they have multiple opportunities to absorb and retain information. And it benefits all learners, particularly those with learning disabilities. So those are just some ways that we help students here at Excelsior. You can use some of these in different ways at home to help your child with learning disabilities. Of course, one of the first and most important, again, is giving them that good routine, whatever it may be for your family, whatever is effective, just giving them that set time to work on tasks and assignments at home. It does help those children feel more organized and more confident in managing their day. Just setting up that daily schedule for homework, meals, or downtime. Visual timers can help reinforce that structure and maintain focus for those students. Another thing you can do is break down tasks into smaller or more manageable steps. Large assignments can feel overwhelming, so helping them know what the next action will be. For example, if they have a book report, which is quite a big task, you can just remind them, first we're going to read the book, then we're going to write an outline, then we're going to fill in the paragraphs, and then we're finally going to start to revise that. And this approach makes it simpler and motivates them to reach each milestone that they have. Using visual aids and tools, you can use flashcards, diagrams, color-coded notes are especially helpful for those students with strong visual skills. Other ways to provide visual input is just helping them use highlighters, things like that helps them process and understand, and more importantly, recall that information quickly. A great way to help all children is using all of those multisensory learning modalities. You can help them with their spelling by allowing them to trace the words in sand or write the words in sand. You can give them magnetic letters. That's especially helpful for remembering the spelling concepts. Writing the words in clay. For math, bringing in those physical, tactile objects, counters, blocks, whatever it may be, to help bring those math concepts that sometimes seem kind of vague to a more concrete area for the child. Talking about fractions while cutting up a pizza or cutting a pie is perfect hands-on learning for your child. And talk to the child and use vocabulary words from their classes just to tie in those concepts to everyday life. A couple of great areas is teaching your child to communicate those needs that they have, just helping them with the self-advocacy. Encourage them to speak up if they need extra help or if they prefer certain seating arrangements. And also tell your child specifically, and that's the key word, specifically what they're doing that's good. For example, rather than say, you did great on that writing assignment, you would say you formed every letter on that assignment correctly, so that they understand, oh, that's what it was that I need to work on, or that I'm good at, and that I know that I need to develop on this task. That specific praise does help them very much. Another way is especially for those students with sometimes have attention deficits, which is very commonly also a disability for students who have academic challenges, is just to say, you worked for 15 minutes without any distraction. And that does help them as well to know what it is they're doing. That's good. You can also make sure they have a quiet, distraction-free learning space. Most of these academic challenges make it difficult to focus and to complete that work. So the less distractions they have, the easier it will be for them to complete the work that they have. So these are some great ways that you can help your child in overcoming their learning disabilities, or accommodate them to work through the learning disabilities that they have. There's a couple of resources here, and I'll add additional resources down below. But I do want to thank you for watching this video and taking steps to understand and support your child's unique learning needs. And do go ahead and look at those resources that we have below that will help them in doing better in their school. Thank you.